There have been a lot of bold claims made, including on the show, including by me ever since last week's debate about what effect the debate is going to have on the actual election. Well, we don't need to speculate, or we don't need to only speculate, because the polls are coming in and we need to talk about it. So Puck's Peter Hamby got his hands on a confidential polling memo put together by Democratic data firm Open Labs that took a look at the effect of the debate. So polling before the debate and after the debate in a variety of different states. And here it is. Now, there's a lot of numbers there. You don't have to worry about every one of the numbers, but there are some trends. He has dropped in every one of these states from Colorado to Nevada. You have Pennsylvania, Michigan. You have all of the swing states, basically. You have swing states. You have blue states. You have states where he was trailing that he's now trailing more. Like Nevada, he was at negative 6.9. Now he's at negative 8.8. He lost, give or take, 2 points, 1.7 to 2.3 in all of these states. For some of them, it was enough to actually flip the result. So for New Hampshire, Virginia, New Mexico, those are states that he had been leading. Now he's narrowly dropping. Some like it's the one congressional district. There's states that divvied up by individual congressional districts. That one is now like way too close to call. Minnesota is way too close to call. Colorado is within the margin of error as well. So look, this is one poll across many states, but the trend there is very clear.
The video will continue in just a moment, but first I have a message for you. TYT needs your help. Membership is vital to survival, so please go to tyt.com/team and become a member today.
Now, that does not mean that all of the polling data here is great news for people who might want to replace Joe Biden. So when you take a look here at a lot of the potential replacements, that's Kamala Harris, Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg. They all polled ahead of Biden in every one of these background states. Whitmer, for instance, blows away Trump at her home state there. But it isn't necessarily, they're not releasing like specific evidence that there's like one who it should be necessarily. And so let's be clear about that. But also, if you run it through the filter of our electoral college, because that's fundamentally what this is about, then this is the map that you'd get. Now, we're a long way out from the election, but I will remind everyone, it is not that a great situation has become a bad situation. A bad situation has become a terrible situation. That's the issue. And again, no one poll is all that matters. But the polls leading up to the debate were giving us real reason to be worried. You cannot find in the last few decades an incumbent who is polling at those numbers, or even a major party presidential candidate that's polling at those numbers that won. Okay, so it was already an immense road to victory. It is now that much more difficult. Maybe this is wrong. Maybe it's not 2 points. Maybe it's 1 point. Nobody thinks that he moved up though. Nobody thinks that he improved, okay? And again, it's an indication of his ability to campaign going forward. And so we're gonna move to one of the biggest potential surprises coming out of all this, but what do you make of the polling?
Well, I think it's to be expected. I also think that we have to be very careful here because the pollsters, sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. I'm not even quibbling with what they're putting out right now, but here's what I do know. Again, I use the word chaos. It doesn't matter who's coming out on top and who can do what. If this party that's already having trouble purportedly with black men attempts to bypass or leapfrog over Kamala Harris, who also controls a great deal of the money, I've learned. If I'm the Trump team, I just sit back, I continue to not have to spend one dime after lying for the debate, an hour, 2 hours, I don't know, it was 5 minutes,
2 hours,
was too long, okay? Then this is exactly what they want. I don't know why the quiet part has to constantly be said out loud, except that I did hear today that the Biden bubble, the family, the top advisors have closed ranks and he's not getting the message. But this is not helpful. This is why I keep saying they've got to figure something out and just go with it, 10 toes down immediately.
Yeah. Look, again, we have been and will continue to watch for more polls as they come out. I'm just saying, like, this is not a surprise. And this could end up being wrong in that it could be underestimating the negative effect of the debate. That's entirely possible. And I see people in the chat saying that they've never been personally polled, and I get that. That's not fundamentally how polls work. They don't have to talk to everyone. I also say I've almost never seen anyone respond to a poll that shows something they want by saying I've never been polled. I will just say that. Again, doesn't mean this poll is right, and we will continue to update people.